My name is Jorge Bueno. I'm on the line with V, the Guerrilla Economist.
I am somebody who spent a great deal of time working within the financial industry, working not only in Wall Street, but in the city of London as well. When I deal with major clients, I know the answer is precious metal. Folks, gold and silver is the currency of king.
This is for everyone. It doesn't interfere with what you're already doing.
The banks, in collusion with the government, technically it's called fascism, but over here in America we're calling it democracy. They have already agreed and signed into law that they will rob you. They're going to take your bank accounts. That's what's called a bail-in. Remember Cyprus? People went to sleep one night in Cyprus, they woke up, 60% of their checking account is gone because the government needed it for national security. That's the same thing that's going to happen here.
After the best part of a fortnight, the banks open again in Cyprus tomorrow afternoon amid tight security. But anyone lucky enough to have substantial amounts of cash won't be allowed to get all of it out, so the banks don't collapse.
Jeremy, this is a country where tonight you can't cash a cheque. You can't get more than 300 euros out of the bank.
You cannot keep throwing debt on top of debt on top of debt, expecting a different result. And eventually the whole system collapses.
People with money in the bank find out how much they've lost. The bank behind me, Bank of Cyprus, people with over 100,000 will lose about 40% of what they've got.
It's scary because this constant printing and devaluation is going to destroy American saving.
You talked about it on your show and you blasted it out, and I'm like, I'm in. It wasn't even a question in my mind. I knew that because of who you are and what you stand for and the fact that you'd done research already, I knew that the situation was already vetted and I was good to go. So I had no questions, man. I set up my account.
When I have clients, those with 7, 8, 9-figure incomes, contact me and say, hey, you know what, V, I want to buy $5 million worth of gold. We don't go to Jimmy John's Coin and Carry down the street. We would contact brokers in what's called a good delivery network. And a good delivery network focuses a network that is outside of the banking system. Therefore, it's free of any third-party counter risk.
Our product ends up being better priced than the Arger Horaeus or the Pamp Swiss products.
Carrot Bars pays you. And if you set it up correctly, you can get your gold for free. People need a financial education. Understand how the world really works, and then make the preparation. Get yourself gold, silver, get yourself Carrot Bars. If I were to give an analogy of where we are in terms of this situation, I'll tell you this, Jorge. Take, for instance, October of 1929, right before the stock market crash, and then take, for instance, the Cuban Missile Crisis. And you take those two events, you put it together. That's where we are right now globally. You want to talk about critical? Folks, we're hanging on by a thread. The government says, oh, you know what, the unemployment rate is only 5.3%. But what people don't know is once you're past 3 months, they stop counting you.
Successful people, clients, people that have a bunch of money, wealthy people, it's a no-brainer. They're asking you, oh, gold bullion? Oh, man, LBMA? Yeah, it's a good delivery. I'm all over it. It's only the people who just haven't heard yet. They just don't know. They haven't been informed. And those are our people, those are our brothers and sisters who we're going to approach, who we're going to help to understand that there is a system that allows them to save in gold, get paid in gold, get paid in euros on their international bank account and international MasterCard, and also start building an income if they decide.
The only exploit people have, Jorge, is gold. Gold and silver, the only exploit that people have. And the best gold you can get is Carrot Bars. Get it. It's financial insurance.
Right.
This is about having your own private, offshore, gold savings account that nobody could touch. And that is the insurance for you and for your family. That's what this is about.
Countries are getting together and they're bypassing the dollar and they're not using the dollar in their global trade.
We start realizing, hey man, gold shouldn't be $1,100 an ounce. It should be $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we start doing some more calculations and we start realizing, hey, the Chinese and the Russians, they want to create almost like a BRICS currency, almost like a gold-backed trade settlement. And when that revaluation occurs, we're looking at gold being $50,000 to $60,000 per ounce.
The leaders of India, China, South Africa, Brazil and Russia have launched a development bank with $50 billion in capital at the BRICS Group of Emerging Economies Summit in the Russian city of Ufa. The bank, which the BRICS countries see as an alternative to the World Bank, will have its capital expanded to $100 billion within the next couple of years. It will be based in Shanghai, China, and plans to issue its first loans, which are yet to be agreed, in April. At the signing ceremony, Russian President Vladimir Putin read a statement on behalf of all the BRICS leaders.
And one of the key things that the BRICS are using for the new development bank is gold. Gold is going to be the backing of it. And folks, our biggest exports is not our technology, our cars, our this, or that. Our biggest exports are trash, recyclables, and pornography. The new development bank is a rival to the World Bank. The AIIB is the rival to the IMF, the International Monetary Fund.
The recent emergence and creation of the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, 49, 50 nations now have signed on. The U.S. decided not to, and in fact suggested that the U.K. in being a founding member was, once again, being too accommodating to China.
So when the Russians and Chinese are putting together a $400 billion energy deal, that they're going to trade amongst themselves, bypassing the dollar, that is huge, okay? When you have the Turks, the Indians, the Iranians, the Syrians, they're all working together to, hey, you know what, let's trade amongst ourselves, let's use our own currency, let's not use the dollar. That is causing the petrodollar to crumble. That is causing the dollar to lose its luster as the world reserve currency.
Russia and China have a new deal to sell energy in their local currencies instead of the dollar. Iran sells oil directly to China in Chinese yuan. Iran has also traded its oil for gold to neighboring countries to bypass U.S. and United Nations sanctions. Within the last year, China had overtaken the U.S. in net oil imports. China's third and fourth largest sources of oil, Russia and Iran, are both bypassing the dollar. Finally, a partnership between China and Saudi Arabia has created a giant oil refinery off the Red Sea that's expected to be online this year. King Dollar is truly dying.
And the rest of the world back in 2011, Jorge, got together and said, hey, you know what? 194 countries signed on at the UN and said, let's have a global currency reset where we can evaluate each nation's debt and base the peg of the value of their currency upon the debt to assets ratio. 194 countries signed on, except for one country, the United States.
Wow.
Not only do we not sign on, we went ahead and started a war in the Ukraine and then blamed it on the Russians. Okay, this is the kind of insanity that's happening. Now, people say, oh my God, that's controversial. Yeah, it is controversial, but it's reality.
And the sheer fact that someone would have a $100 Federal Reserve note in their wallet and it does not say gold certificate or silver certificate, it's fiat, nothing's backing it. The fact that this is printed means that there's already a debt obligation behind it. So this is a debt note.
This is the right product at the right time. My God, you want to talk about being at the ground level of something?
Yeah.
This is it. Every single poll, Gallup poll, Quinnipiac poll, ABC poll, CNN poll, Fox News poll, Wall Street Journal, every single poll that you could think of, when they poll Americans, what is your number one concern? The first thing that pops up is the economy. The economy is the number one concern with Americans.
Yeah.
And so they get it. Then you're telling them about the benefits of Carrot Bars, what it's doing, what the company is, what the flexibility is. It allows you to store offshore, gives you liquidity, it's financial insurance, gives you that financial security. It is the insurance policy for your wealth, and people immediately get it.
This is happening right now. This isn't like 2001 Argentina where that happened again, 2008 Zimbabwe where that hyperinflated big time. There's like $1 trillion notes that you could buy that won't buy you anything. The Weimar Republic, 1920s. This has happened, and fiat currencies have a 100% failure rate.
This is a fact. You're entitled to your own opinions, but you're not entitled to your own facts. The fact is your dollar, your Federal Reserve note, has lost 98% of its value versus gold. And all what Jorge and I are trying to tell you is that remaining 2% you have, you're going to lose that too. That's what it comes down to, folks.
The greatest wealth transfer in history is occurring. You might as well make commissions. from what is already going to happen.
My goal for everybody listening, and Jorge's goal, and I thank God that Jorge and I connected, the goal is we are going to own North America. We're going to own it. You know, we're going to take it over with this business because this is the only thing that's going to save everybody.